You're watching Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney, Southwest Florida's #1 show for smart retirement planning. He's a best-selling author, radio personality, and a fiduciary advisor you can trust. Get ready for expert insights, straight talk, and strategies to secure your future. Now, here's Southwest Florida's premier investment advisor, Eric Kearney.
Welcome to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors. And to our viewers at home, as always, thank you for welcoming us into your home each and every week. We know that you tune in for guidance on financial planning, retirement planning, and we can't tell you how much we appreciate that. We want to talk today about what works and what doesn't work. And we're going to talk about this in regards to financial planning. Talk about tax planning. What about longevity? All of these things tie into a well-designed retirement plan, but what works and what doesn't? Stay with us. Eric, how are you today?
I'm great, Cynthia. Good morning to you.
So good to see you. Good morning to you. Joseph, how are you?
Ready for another fantastic show.
Me too. I'm excited because this is a great one. What works and what doesn't work? So often we think we have a plan that works, but then it's not working. So this is a great one. So here we go. Let's talk about this. When it comes to real financial planning, it matters more than ever. Talk about treating retirement like a set it and forget it portfolio. This does not work. Set it and forget it. Eric, why is that an issue?
Yeah, so let's just say that you come in for financial planning and I write you a little financial plan and I write you a little income plan and we set up your portfolio and everything is great, right? We've covered all your goals and objectives. You look at your lifestyle and you're like, yes, that is what I want my ultimate retirement to look like. This is great. This is fantastic. The thing is that as soon as you leave, everything changes. Whether you like it or not, your life is going to change. Your day is going to be different. The city that you live in is going to be different. The state that you live in is going to be different. The state, the country, the world is all going to be different. And then all of a sudden you have the economic problems. Interest rates are going to change. Inflation is going to be there. Your risk tolerance is going to change. No matter whether you like it or not, everything's going to change. And that financial plan has to start changing with it. And it has to be managed, monitored, and maintained on a regular basis. You need communication from your financial planning team. Hey, listen, this is going on. We don't want it to be a threat to your lifestyle, so we're going to make some adjustments. If you set it and forget it, the world is going to change and nothing that you have is going to change. The personal economy that you have through your financial plan, through your income plan, through your tax plan is something that you can control on a regular basis. You can't control what goes out in the world.
It's true.
It's that personal economy that you can control the most, and that's really what you have to pay attention to.
Most definitely. And this ties in nicely with this next one, using a one-size-fits-all strategy. And we've talked about this before. The plans that you gentlemen craft are customized. They're designed for your specific needs, but sometimes people can go into, and I don't want to throw a big box firm under the bus, but sometimes it's a one-size-fits-all plan that someone walks out the door with. That doesn't work. Eric, talk about why that doesn't work.
Well, I mean, we talk about the big box firms. Here's one of the biggest problems with these big firms. They don't do enough financial planning. Fidelity has done a study, and it shows that 67% of people between ages of 50 and 72 don't even have a financial plan.
Wow.
So that's bad enough that people are going into retirement that's going to last 2 to 3 decades and really don't have any kind of plan. So when we see what's happening out there is there's one size fits all, never works. And you know what people are looking for when they have that is instant gratification. We're all out for instant financial gratification. But if you really see someone that is successful in retirement and they make it look easy, it's because they're putting that work into it. They're accessing their financial plan. They're looking at their investment plan. They're mitigating their taxes. They're de-risking the portfolio. And the bottom line is that we are forecasting all the problems. So there's never one size fits all for anyone.
Thank you, Eric. And Joseph, let me ask you about this next one. This does not work either. I'll figure taxes out later.
Yeah.
Why can that be a bomb in someone's overall retirement?
We were just talking about this last week, right? Where majority of Americans' accounts are in IRAs or 401k accounts, where later in retirement, we're going to pull money out of this and we're going to be taxed on it then. The issue that we run into when we're waiting and just saying, it's not a problem for me right now, so I'll just push it off later. we could be closing out on some ideal windows when it would be smart to start tax planning for that, right? We're sitting in one of the lowest tax brackets in history. People don't realize that. They don't feel that.
It's true.
When you ask somebody, how do you feel about your current tax situation? You know what almost everybody says? I hate it. I don't want to pay this much. It's
Right.
too high. I understand that. I feel the exact same way.
Right, I know.
Eric feel like we all do.
Yes.
But when we look at history and we look at trends, we're in one of the lowest tax brackets in history. Our national debt is absolutely through the roof.
Yes.
It's not a question of if taxes are going to be going up. It's just a question of, well, when exactly are they going to be going up? It's going to affect you later in retirement when you're forced to pull out RMDs out of that account. It can affect your Medicare premiums. It can affect your Social Security that you're getting taxed on. And the problem is that people want to do tax planning when the issue comes up. Right? Meaning they want to wait until they get to that RMD age when they're like, I have to pull 6 figures out of my IRA account before they say, how can I do something about this?
Right.
Tax planning should happen years before while you actually have some options to do it. And now we actually do have a calculator. If you go to rwataxtest.com, you can use our tax calculator. You input your information in there, and it will show you some possible Roth conversions, because that's what we're talking about doing, right? Is in these lower tax years, taking some of that IRA money and converting it over into Roth money, because essentially you're locking in today's lower tax rate for your future before those taxes go even higher.
So important to talk about because taxes can derail someone's retirement. Eric, you're going to add a point there, I think.
No, I was just going to say that, like, there's a lot of people who actually hyper focus on other things and then put off tax planning. And so when we have somebody come in after they call in after the show or a radio show and they come in to set an appointment, they're freaking out about their tax situation. And when I'm taking a look at everything, or Joseph is taking a look at everything, we're like, didn't anybody introduce you to tax planning like 5 years ago? Because really, when you're in your 50s and early 60s, you should be able to see if you are headed into a taxable event.
Yes.
And so the thing is to head it off the sooner rather than later. And there's a lot of people who wait too long, and then it just gets very disruptive, and you're hyper focusing on those tax issues, and it gets very stressful.
Yes.
So again, rwataxtest.com, go on there. And if you don't have a plan that is mitigating your taxes, maybe that's what you need to focus on.
Most definitely. And I want to get this final one in, Eric, if we could, before the commercial break. I'll just live off of my interest. Well, that doesn't work. Let's talk about why.
I don't even know what that means when
Right?
somebody
I'll just
says that to
live
me,
off my
right?
interest.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, when you take a look at the national average of a CD right now, it may be 4%. So if we factor in, I'm going to go low, 2.5% in inflation, and then you get that 1099 at the end of the year, you are safely losing money on that interest that you're supposed to be living off of. So I think what people are really saying is, I want to build a meaningful income plan, or I want to have income streams built for me. But when they say, I'm just going to live off my interest, you had better have millions and millions and millions of dollars to live off of a 4% rate of return.
Most definitely. And
Yeah.
Joseph, there is time for one more. So I want to ask you this one before we give some light at the end of the tunnel. When we come back, we're going to talk about what works. But Joseph, this final one, chasing high yield of hot investments. Why does that not work? Chasing high yield of hot investments.
You know, I think kind of like what Eric was saying before, where, you know, people are so focused on this interest, and it's the same thing with people that they get obsessed with this yield. And I can understand it. It's a point of like, during your working years, you're focused on growth and accumulation. So you transition into retirement and you're just thinking, well, this is how it is now. Like I should be living off of my dividends and my yield that I'm seeing. A lot of times high yield, though, can be kind of a warning sign. If you truly take a look at some of the top dividend paying stock positions, take a look at their price, their stock price over the last 3 and 5 years. This is what happens. Everybody's paying attention to the shiny dividend, and this is the stock price over the time, right? It's going down over time. So I like to look at it almost like when you see a car posted that's really cheap, and you're like, that car looks okay. Maybe we should look under the hood and see why that car is that cheap. Okay?
Right.
It's the same thing when it comes to those high yield positions. So, you know, a strong plan is going to be built off of looking for companies that have solid fundamentals below them and sustainable income. We're not just going to chase that high yield investment.
I love that, because when it looks too good to be true, it probably is.
That's right.
Thank you so much, Joseph. Eric, I know that you and Joseph have a very special message to our viewers at home. Talk about what that is, please.
Yeah, so if you're out there and again, you're watching the show and you're like, I've been putting this off way too long, you don't have a financial plan, you don't have an income plan, the perfect solution is go to myincomeplan.com. You can pick up your smartphone, go right to myincomeplan.com, and you can actually download your very own retirement income guide today. Do that, and we'll see you soon.
Eric, thank you so much. Joseph, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call, 800-779-1942, 1-800-779-1942. Call in today for this discovery consultation. Again, it's no obligation, completely complimentary. And whether you have 10 minutes to spare or an hour to spare, don't you want to have peace of mind in your retirement? We're talking about what works and what doesn't work when it comes to retirement planning, and we want you to have peace of mind. Again, 1-800-779-1942, or you can grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. We're going to take a very short commercial break. We went through the entire list of what doesn't work, but when we come back, let's talk about what does. Stay tuned.
Welcome in, everyone. My name is Joseph Lanza with Retirement Wealth Advisors, and today I'm joined again with Donna Crone, our certified financial planner. Today, I want to talk a little bit about the different aspects to financial planning that are not just the numbers, Donna. They're not just spreadsheets that are getting ran. There's a lot more to that financial plan that brings a client a lot of comfort and joy, if you will. I want to talk a little bit more about that.
When people retire, or really at any stage of their life, when they think about their finances, it is really just numbers, right? But in reality, these things that we go through in our life, like transitioning into retirement, impact us on many more levels than just finances.
Absolutely.
So I think people focus on, if I can just get my numbers in alignment, if I can just get that to match, I'll be okay. When we discount the emotional, mental, intellectual, spiritual side of this phase of our lives, it can almost make trying to achieve those goals hollow. So let me give you a good example. Let's say, and we've certainly experienced this a number of times with our clients, that they want to buy a piece of real estate in another part of the country. They want to be closer to their adult children and really close to their grandchildren.
Of course.
That is a goal or a desire that goes way beyond money. Right? That is love. That's connection with family. That's the ability to be there, to watch their grandchildren grow up. There's a whole lot more in that than just, do the numbers match up?
Right.
And so when we're doing financial planning, we're taking that holistic approach and we're factoring in not just, do the numbers align? We're factoring in, how can we achieve this goal for our client? How can we help them get there?
Absolutely, Donna. I think at the end of the day, that financial plan brings a lot of comfort and joy, that sleepability factor, if you will, to know that you can achieve all those goals that you've had for your such long, hardworking career. Donna, thanks so much for joining me today. Back to you guys in the studio.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza of Retirement Wealth Advisors. And we're talking all about things that do work in retirement, of course, that things that don't when it comes to retirement planning. So we went through all the things that don't work. Next two segments, we're going to talk about the things that do work. So please lean on in, grab a cup of coffee. Here we go. So Eric, I want to ask you right out of the gate, what works best for the viewers out there? What works best?
Yeah, so people get so complicated over this and they get so overwhelmed by this. And it's like they keep putting it off. And really, what works the most for viewers and people that are calling in is just a simple conversation. It's really just coming down, having a cup of coffee and saying, hey, what's going on with your retirement? How far out are you? What does it look like? What do you want to do in retirement? It's like people think that they get bombarded with all these ridiculous hard questions, but really we're just trying to see what your lifestyle looks like. And it's actually one of the easiest things to begin that way, because you start to see how they live, what is important to them, what their family is like, where they want to live, how they want to live. Then you start to get into, what are my concerns? They worry about this or they worry about this. All we're trying to do is write you a financial plan that actually suits you and your lifestyle. People have to remember, we get lost in all these big words and all these technical things and everything. People don't care. Again, I bring up my sister because I can really talk about her a lot. But my sister's like, okay, speak to me in English. And the other day I had a sentence written out and she walked by, she was staying with me for 2 weeks. And she walks by and she goes, I don't understand that. So you shouldn't even say that on TV. I'm like, okay. Right?
I love that.
Yeah. And it's she is the best sounding board, right? Because she is my perfect financial planning client, because again, they scrimp, they save, they sacrifice. My sister drives her car significantly longer than everybody else, but yet socks money in her Roth IRA. Why? Not because she understands what a Roth IRA is, but because I tell her to, right?
Right.
And I mean, it's so funny. So she's kind of the perfect client. Just do this, this, and this, and then. But the point is that it all started from a simple conversation. And a lot of times I'm talking to her, asking her about things, and I'm like, okay, I need to put that in the financial plan.
Yes.
Again, she doesn't care about the moving parts to that. She just wants to know, do I get this, this, or this in retirement? But it's good information for us to have to be able to implement that all in our financial plan.
Most definitely. And the most important thing that you just mentioned, obviously, is trust.
Yeah.
She trusts what you say. And I know that you gentlemen are always doing that with your clients. So thank you for always offering that level of service.
Right.
So the next one, this does work. Income planning always comes first.
Yeah.
Think about that. Income planning always comes first. This does work because Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, and Joseph as well, income is the outcome when it comes to retirement enjoyment, truly.
Right. So Cynthia, let me ask you something. Where was your first job?
Ooh, let's go way back in time. So Cedar Point,
Uh-huh.
Sandusky, Ohio. I was in charge of the birthday game. Do you know what that is?
No.
Okay. So you have 4 sides and they have the months, January all the way through December. You get this big fat dice and you hand it to someone and they throw it in the middle. That's the winners. March is the winner. That was my first job.
Oh, that's
I know.
hilarious.
It was so much fun. Well, it was inspired by my parents because we talked about this a little bit earlier. I really wanted to have designer jeans, and my parents said, we can't afford those. If you want to get them, you go out and find a job. The rest is history. I've worked ever since, and I love it. So thanks, Mom and Dad.
Yeah, that's it.
Right?
No, and
Honestly.
that is very true, right? Like that first job really became our first piece of money, right?
Yes.
And it was exciting because now all of a sudden we're getting a paycheck, we're getting income. So now all of a sudden we're putting some hours in. At the end of the week, we get a paycheck. I remember going to my job at the grocery store. I would put $2 in my gas tank in my car and I got 2 whole gallons, right? I was excited about that. And it's a little bit more today, but we'll go get past that. The point is that when you're working all those years, you have a paycheck.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden, everything comes to a screeching halt in retirement. And now all of a sudden, you have to create that paycheck.
Yes.
So we look back and we're like, man, when we were accumulating, we were working, we could put up with risk, we could put up with volatility. We kept socking money away, right? Here's a Roth IRA, I'm going to fill that out. But the bottom line is that we're okay with the market volatility because we also had a paycheck. My mortgage is covered, my kids' college is covered, braces are covered. So the whole thing is that when you have a paycheck, there's that stability. When we get to retirement, I don't know what it is, but everybody panics. Well, now I'm retired and, I got to live on cat food. And I'm like, no, that's not how it is. Like, we've got to turn things around so you're not doing that. That's the whole reason of income planning. And I will say this, the most successful clients are paying attention to their income plan more than anything else. They want to make sure that it's supporting their lifestyle. They want to make sure that it's supporting what they want to do in life. And so they're constantly going back to that income plan, making sure that they're still where they need to be, outpacing inflation, paying their taxes, paying their required minimum distributions, and there's no threat to their lifestyle.
Most definitely. And this next one, Joseph, you've tapped into this before, but this is also something that works. Tax planning should not be optional. It should be mandatory.
Right.
Tax planning works.
Yeah, I mean, look, when we think that majority of Americans' accounts are in these tax-deferred accounts, where in the future we're going to be taxed on them when we pull out money as ordinary income, you could almost view this as that account is only 70 or 80% yours. So how are we not going to be doing tax planning? It's going to be such a large factor in your overall situation, right? Even when I'm doing an income plan and when I'm showing somebody that income plan, sometimes people will be like, wait a second, what about taxes? And I'll be like, calm down, they're already factored in. You see how that says net income? So I'm already factoring in your taxes into that situation. They have to be factored into every different aspect of your financial situation, because what is that old saying? The 3 things you never escape are
Oh, yeah.
death, the
Taxes,
IRS.
death.
Yeah.
What's the third one?
I honestly don't.
Grenades.
I don't remember what it is, but yeah, so one of those. But they're always going to be here, and the thing is that no matter what they look like today, they're most likely going to be getting worse. So let's do something about them while we can.
Most definitely. Joseph, thank you so much. Eric, thank you so much. Viewers at home, let's do something about that while we can. This is your opportunity to take advantage of the complimentary consultation. It could be as simple as a 10-minute discovery call, or you could go ahead and book the full consultation with Eric and the team. Let them get to know you one-on-one. We're talking about building a blueprint for your retirement success. You have nothing to lose, everything to gain. You've worked your entire life to get here. We would be honored if you would take advantage of this opportunity. The number is 1-800-779-1942, or we've made it even simpler. Please grab your smartphone, open the camera app, and click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. That'll be the fast track to get on the schedule of Retirement Wealth Advisors. We'll be right back after this very short commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
What does your retirement look like? Is it filled with travel, spending time with family, or are you too worried to even think about your hopes and dreams? Eric and his team can answer your questions with a complimentary review of your retirement and income plan, and it all starts with getting to know you. Because every dream needs a plan. Call Eric today and schedule your visit. You only retire once, so let's get it right the first time.
What I enjoy most about retirement planning is sitting down with you and having real conversations about your retirement dreams and goals. We specialize in helping people just like you prepare for the retirement they've always dreamed of.
Retirement Wealth Advisors with Eric Kearney.
Welcome back to Retirement Talk with Eric Kearney and Joseph Lanza. My name is Cynthia DeFazio. Thank you for joining us today. We are talking about retirement planning, and we started talking about things that don't work in retirement planning. We're talking about things that do, so thank you for being with us. And folks at home, when we went to the commercial break, we talked about the 10-minute discovery call. Well, who doesn't have 10 minutes? Think about this. How long do you wait in traffic? How long do you wait at Starbucks for your favorite beverage? We all have 10 minutes, and this could change your life. Eric, talk about the 10-minute call. What is it? What kind of questions do you ask in 10 minutes?
So it just starts with that conversation, right? And so I think, again, people are like, they don't even know where to start. Where do I begin with retirement? So what we did was we created the 10-minute phone call where basically we allow you to ask a few questions, we answer them, and just try to find out a little bit more about you. And what is happening is that people say, oh, this isn't as hard as I expected. I actually like this. The one thing that I can tell you is that when we begin the financial planning process for someone, and this is for someone that actually comes in their office and they begin this, they already start to feel the weight of the financial world off of their shoulders. I should have done this 2 years ago. I've seen you guys on TV. I should have called years ago. I should have gotten this done. So the bottom line is that the 10-minute phone call is really a precursor to what we can actually do for you. And remember that when we do a personal financial blueprint, this is yours to keep. You are walking out of our office with that, and it's a super powerful tool. More than likely, they're going to know more about their portfolio than ever before.
Most definitely. I can guarantee that. Absolutely. Joseph, let me ask you this next question. These are things that work, and I love that this one does. This takes away Eric's eating the cat food thing, but let's talk about this. Building a portfolio that funds a lifestyle. No cat food involved.
No.
Funding a lifestyle.
Thank goodness. Yeah. Hopefully nobody is in their current lifestyle is eating cat food.
Yes,
so.
we don't want to go there. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it though, because the lifestyle is the backbone of your entire retirement. It's everything that we're looking to accomplish in the financial plan. A lot of times when people have fears, what they're really fearful of, like when the market is going down, they're fearful because they're like, am I going to lose my lifestyle?
Yes.
Am I going to have to make changes that I don't want to make? So where does this start? Well, first we want to understand what your lifestyle looks like. How much does that actually cost you on a regular basis? Housing, utilities, gas, taking care of family, traveling, more hobbies, whatever that may look like, even those larger one-off expenses. But then we take that lifestyle and we customize a portfolio to that with growth, with income, with tax efficiency there. Because one of the most important parts when you're working with an advisor too is you do not want your investments to dictate your lifestyle. Your lifestyle should dictate your investments, okay?
Great
And that
point.
will also help you get out of that, am I truly getting customization or am I just getting a cookie cutter portfolio, right? You can kind of start to think about it from that point of view.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Thank you, Joseph. That was wonderful. Eric, let me ask you this next one, please. Having a retirement strategy that's bigger than just a portfolio, it works. Why?
Yeah. So people are always asking, tell me about your most successful clients. And so it was really funny because I had a set of clients come into our Punta Gorda office and they're like, Eric, tell me about one of your really successful clients. And so I started talking about this set of clients and they're like, it sounds an awful lot like us. I said, it is you, right? And so, I mean, it was
That's
so funny. I
fabulous.
just turned their situation on them. And they were more impressed by their situation through a third party than it was actually their life. It was the funniest thing. And so, I mean, you have a lot of successful people who always want to know, what is the next person doing? Like, what do the wealthy do differently? They're doing what you do. But when you take a look at somebody that is successful in retirement, the portfolio is such a small part of the overall strategy. The stock market is going to do what it does. It goes up, it goes down, it pulls back, it goes forward. If you have a pullback in a year, it's followed by recovery years, it's going to be okay. As long as you know that we're managing and monitoring that, which is what we're very vocal about. But the bottom line is that the entire financial plan is what you have to take a look at. So you can either be very passive or very active, but you can't ignore a financial plan. So again, if you don't have a financial plan out there, remember, it's an entire strategy. There are going to be parts that you care about. There's going to be parts that you don't care about. But as long as you know that there's no threat to your lifestyle, you can maintain that lifestyle continually with inflation, with everything that you actually want, then it's doing its job. Call us today.
Most definitely. And if I do want to tie this last one together, if we could, please. Retirement success comes from coordination, Eric. Coordination, Joseph, making sure that everything works cohesively together in a plan.
So that's why we work together as a team, right?
Yes.
We work together as a team to compound the power for that client. So what's happening is that some people have portfolio issues, some people have service issues, some people want financial planning or income planning or even tax planning. Later on down the road, it's going to be estate planning. But what we're trying to do is through the entire process, we are covering all of those bases because we don't know what day is going to become an issue for healthcare. We don't know what day is going to become an issue for estate planning. But if we have it all ready and be ready to be rolled out for you for when we don't expect things to happen, that's a good place to be. So again, you want to be ahead of the curve. You want to be proactive and resilient. These are all the benefits of financial planning.
Most definitely, Eric. Thank you so much. And Joseph, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, we've talked about things that work in financial planning, things that don't. You want to be on the side that works. You want a team, most importantly, that works for you. The number to call is 1-800-779-1942, 1-800-779-1942. Take advantage of that 10-minute complimentary consultation. Who doesn't have an extra 10 minutes? Once again, 800-779-1942, or click the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We'll see you back 1 week from today. Take care.
Hey, Southwest Florida, thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions after today's show, please give us a call.
Remember, you only retire once. Let's get it right the first time. Have a great week and an even better retirement.